tuning into another newly listed on the CSE series. Today's clip, I am joined by Marwan Haddad. Marwan is the co-founder of Railtown AI Technologies. It's just listed on the CSE. And along with Marwan, I have the pleasure of talking to Cory Brandolini. Cory is also the co-founder, CEO of Railtown AI. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. How are you?
Very well, Anil. Thank you
for having us.
Yeah.
Of course. We had a chance to host your team earlier today for a small virtual market open. It was really nice to see, virtually meet the rest of your team, create a little bit of excitement. But I'm actually curious, just like probably a lot of our viewers, let's talk a little bit about Railtown AI Technologies. What is this company's vision and what do you do?
Well, thanks, Anil. Well, great question. And maybe I can just start by quickly, giving a little background. Myself and my three other co-founders, we've worked together over the many years in software. And all of us have had the experience of software errors and software bugs causing, issues to whatever application that we're building. And over the years, we've had many conversations about this issue and the amount of dollars and resources it takes to deal with errors and bugs that are arising in your application. And, we've, after speaking about this many times with Marwan and Elliot in our team is, the same answer comes back every single time is, this is a manpower issue that we have to throw bodies at to try and solve this issue or tackle these errors within an application in order to stop these errors making their way all the way to the end user and causing a significant problem. And that could be everything from your application crashing completely or opening up passwords by accident or security or credit cards or anything in the, and you've probably just seen recently Facebook coming off completely online, and this happens regularly every single day from something as well known as Facebook and all the way down to small little companies that are dealing with this. And the main source behind that is that software runs 24 hours a day now, 365 days a year. So these bugs are ever present. And so you're dealing with them with your engineering team to go back and try and find out where this bug is arising, what problem it's causing to the entire application, what different pages it's causing. And this is time, this is dollars. You over time, we know this, and you can, and there's a lot of research about it, that most companies are spending about 40% of their resources, dollars and manpower, looking at the errors and the software bugs that are causing any application problems. So it was with this, that we've been living with, and we're always looking at ways to try and make this better and more efficient. And there's been different software practices that have been tackling it, but it still comes down to a manpower issue. And as AI has started to come into the day-to-day consciousness of everybody, away from just, robots and Tesla and what have you, as to, AI as a service to a certain simplistic form of description, we looked at, can you apply machine learning and AI to software development and how it looks at a complete application from its very birth all the way to how it's running for the end user. And the answer was yes, because AI and machine learning gets better with the amount of data that it's looking at. And there's no more data than in the world of software. There's no more bigger market than the world of software. Software runs the world. The world can't exist without it now. And so this is a gigantic market space to be in, obviously, and applying machine learning to applications to find these bugs and critical errors prior to them making it all the way to the end user is what we're doing here at Railtown. And so we're very, very excited to announce that, we've just commercially launched V1 of this, allowing all developers that are building specifically right now in V1 in .NET, which is a Microsoft framework of development. And so we'll be launching versions 2 and 3 in different languages as we move forward. But that is kind of a really, a high level of what we're doing. And so maybe if Marwan wants to add to that, and we certainly love to hear from him.
Yeah, Marwan, please.
Yeah, thank you. I think, Cory, you covered a lot of the points I wanted to go over. But
sorry about that.
No worries. But yeah, like software is getting definitely a lot more complex to build and maintain. And there's always this demand of software running 24/7 and wanting always newer features and newer updates. And you can take the approach of, I need a bigger team to address QA deployments, all of that, and we've seen teams spending 40% of their time keeping on top of these of these bugs and errors over time. So what we are using AI and machine learning to tackle the issue of bugs, bug discovery, prioritizing the bugs and what the team needs to address to help them drive the product and focus on building great software, and let our AI layer take care of bugs, prioritize the bugs, and push the right information to you. And we're happy to be using Railtown to build Railtown. So we use our platform extensively to build our software, and it helped our team be more efficient and cut on debugging time as well.
Well summarized, Marwan. Now, Cory, I want to jump back to you quickly, because obviously taking a company public, it's no easy feat.
No.
What was the strategy behind taking Railtown AI the public route?
Well, that's a great question. We have the benefit with our founding group and our board group that we do have a lot of experience in capital markets and raising in the public domain. Most startups in Canada have two avenues to go by. You can go south of the border to the VC markets, if you will. We've done that in the past. We've raised lots of money through that markets, but we do always seem to come home to the public markets in Canada. It's a great platform. We know it well. We've done it our whole life. Our CFO, myself, one of our co-founders, we were all we were investment bankers or in the financial markets for many years of our lifespan. So we know it very, very well. So we feel comfortable in this area, where some people might feel their route might be better through the private sector, through the VC. So it's an area we have the experience in, so it doesn't scare us or cause us any concern about going public. So as Marwan was describing it, once we got to the point where we can commercialize version 1 of the platform, we thought this was a perfect time to reach out to the Canadian venture market to do a growth raise. And again, as you know, our history with the CSE, we felt very, very comfortable to come back this channel to go this way. So we're really happy that we raised a very successful round that will be really applying to accelerating our customer acquisition for 2022. So yeah, so it's an area that we all know. We're very comfortable here. Some people feel private's better, but we feel public works best for us because it gives us a broader exposure of what we're doing, and it allows investors to participate along with us where they wouldn't if a company chose. And as you probably know, Anil, many Canadian startups end up going down south of the border. We try to encourage, and I speak to a lot of other young startups, and I sat on some advisory boards, encourage them to not turn their nose away from what's going on in the Canadian venture marketplace. And once you get in with a good group like we do with the CSE, a lot of the young entrepreneurs will start to feel more comfortable about taking their companies this route as opposed to going private down in the US.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Cory. I know you touched very briefly on your background as well, but I'm going to jump over to Marwan. Marwan, how did you get into this space? Can you talk a little bit about that? And then why don't we talk a little bit about the team and the members that you've assembled to make this company a success?
Great. Awesome. So I have over 25 years of development, building software from the early days. We were using different methodologies, and I've seen the evolution of the methods we use to build software. So we went from the very archaic, slow to move to the market, which is called waterfall, which takes long time to build and test and ship to the market. And we evolved to agile and Kanban recently to help software and companies deliver software faster. But the tooling is always trying to play catch up. And I saw an opportunity to take my experience and how we are heading with the market and modernizing software development to make agile and Kanban a lot more efficient, a lot more effective, and help the teams focus on delivering a great product and not worry about bugs and issues, because our AI platform is helping them prioritize and catch errors and point them to fix the immediate issues and the concerns that they have. The team we have, I'm very fortunate to work with a great skilled team of most of us are 20 years plus, worked with them before in various companies. And we have team members that span in the AI machine learning world. They're very passionate about powering the machine learning in our team, and other members that are focused on platforms and scale and making sure our service is available and running 24/7 to also serve all our users using our platform.
Perfect. Cory, did you want to add something to that?
He couldn't have said it better. We have, again, at the founding group, and I start with that because, great leadership like Marwan and our other co-founder, Dr. Elliot Holton, provide, who's our AI scientist. They attract talent because they're both really well respected in their spaces. So under Marwan's background in platform development and large scale enterprise software, which he's made his career at, and our other co-founder, Elliot Holton, one of the most respected data scientists, they do attract a lot of talent to come and to want to work under them. So, and again, the passion of a project that we're building, software developers know all too well the problem in the world of real-time software development and errors and bugging and all the different tool sets that you need to address that. So they're passionate about trying to bring this solution to their marketplace. We always say software developers building services for software developers, so they know best what software developers need. So when you want to look at why is this a really exciting product, all you need to do is talk to our software developers because it makes their lives better and easier. And from a CEO or a CFO, you see the resources now being applied to productivity and not going back in time, dealing with technical debt, and a critical error that's stopped engineering completely for the day because they're trying to go and find where this error is coming from. So Marwan covered it really, really well. And it's just really important to note that, with the team that we've built, they do attract the type of people that want to be part of this solution.
Yeah. Marwan, you did also mention, how when it comes to this space, there's a lot of innovation and things are rapidly changing and evolving all the time. Now, what would you say differentiates a company and a team that you've assembled at Railtown AI Tech from some of your peers that might be in the same space?
There are great tools and great companies in this space that are building great products. However, these products are focused on one aspect of the whole domain. Maybe they're focused on errors or error discovery, but another company is focused maybe on deployment and deployment tracking. And they're mostly, and their energy and their focus is on live production systems, where our tool is focused on the developer, and he's the center of our experience, making sure we increase his velocity. So we have, our tooling brings a unique integration of ticketing, which is like what the tickets and the engineers are working on, the logs and the errors, and the deployment. We bring all of this data together and using AI and machine learning, which typically, if you don't have this AI and machine learning layer behind it, you're spending lots of man hours trying to debug and figure the issues out. But we are using AI and machine learning to bring all these tooling together that allows us to surface errors very early in the development life cycle. We can even alert about errors from the developer machine before it reaches test staging or even a live system. We're able to group the errors together and provide them with the right cause for the error and how to fix it. And we avoid all these night time, engineers spending time over hours and addressing emergencies because we're catching it as early as possible, and we're bringing all the systems in focus together. So we're making the job and the life of a developer much better and more efficient.
Yeah, I think, Marwan, maybe if you can describe a complete ML pipeline, which is, I think, is really important, because I think it's that bringing all of the different pieces of the development lifecycle that has to go from front to back.
So typically, many layers have to be investigated when we're looking at the issue. So we're looking at tickets, who worked on what. We're looking at the build system, what was deployed, what server is deployed on. And also we're looking at the errors and the frequency of the errors and where they're happening. So our pipeline is monitoring all of these development stages and monitoring all the application. And as errors happen, we're able to detect them, categorize them, and provide feedback immediately back to the engineering team about this issue. And our system is learning continuously about the team and what they are doing. So we're able over time to help them improve their cycle and their efficiencies.
Well summarized. I like how you broke that down. And I'm glad, Cory, that you asked for that sort of breakdown, because it kind of helps you visualize it a bit better.
Yeah.
Now, I know the companies. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, it's to most people on the outside, they just use software, and you know, you and I just click on, you know, like we're using Zoom right now or anything, and we just expect it to work. But in the background, it's extremely complex. And as Marwan was trying to tie together, the very beginning of when engineer picks up a ticket is where his role is today. You have to go and do this one build that's described in the ticket. It starts getting deployed through the entire platform before it finally gets to you and I. And it could be an upgrade to the sign-in button, or it could be anything. And in that entire pipeline is where all the issues start to happen when something happens on a user's end, and all the way back down the chain to wherever the deployment is. So it's complex, and it's you know, it's a rabbit hole we can go down for an hour to get to, but to apply machine learning to that extreme long pipeline of development helps the machine get smarter and smarter along the way to recognize the issues at the earliest possible stage is what's the most important thing. Because if you catch them at the beginning, then it's easy for the developer to get on it right away. And Marwan was describing what code change may have caused that issue and fix it immediately. Now we can go right back to productivity, is what the goal is. Everybody is to get their engineers on productivity.
So I know the company is just listed on the CSE. You've just begun trading. Are there any milestones viewers and investors can look out for from your company and team in the coming months?
Well, I think the best way to get the milestones is, you know, signing up to railtown.com and get access to our news releases as soon as they land. The other thing we know that we're excited about to announce is that we'll be at CES in Vegas in January, presenting Railtown. A lot of media coverage down there. Obviously, every big player in the world of software will be there. So we'll be exposed to some excellent business development opportunities that we're really excited about now. So we anticipate lots of good news coming from the company over the next 12 months.
Well summarized. I wish you and your team nothing but success in 2022 and beyond as you build this platform, this technology. To everybody watching, you've been listening to Cory Brandolini along with Marwan Haddad. They're both the co-founders of Railtown AI Technologies Inc. It's listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange. Mall with the Canadian Securities Exchange. And I'd like to thank both of you gents for taking the time today to not only educate myself a little bit, but our viewers and our audience members on what this company is trying to solve.
Wonderful. Thanks, Anil, for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, gents.
Thank you for tuning in to another newly listed on the CSE. Please feel free to hit like and share this content, and hit subscribe if you haven't already.